Hello and welcome to Unlimited3D tutorial. In this video you will learn how to navigate through the editor, and we will go over updating meshes that are already in the scene as well as uploading additional ones. First, we are going to go over some basic areas of our editor screen and explain their functionality. The center part of the screen is reserved for the 3D view of your solution. Here we can find some useful functions to help us when we are navigating through our solution. In the bottom right corner we have a hold space notification, and if we press and hold spacebar, a list of keyboard shortcuts will appear. We advise you to use some of these shortcuts for a better work experience. Apart from standard shortcuts, move, scale, rotate, etc., we have library toggle, which lets us hide the library section at the bottom of the screen and have more space for our 3D viewer. Also, we can quickly save our solution by pressing Ctrl and S or simply by clicking on the save icon. We can turn on our grid, which we can adjust in the Scene tab, under the Grid panel. Here we can highlight our axes, change the color of the grid, adjust spacing, and extent of the grid. We can also turn on or off our grid here as well. Next we can see a gizmo in the bottom left corner of the screen. Here we can keep track of our axes, and we can hide or show this by pressing A on the keyboard. We can also navigate to the Scene tab, and under the Axes panel we can change the size of the gizmo, and again turn it on or off. If we click on the red, blue and green dots at the end of the axes, we will cycle through preset views that are perpendicular to one of the axes. This way we can view our solution from top, bottom, right and so forth. In the top left corner we can find the Save Camera function. This allows us to set the default camera position by simply rotating and zooming the camera. Once we are satisfied with the view, we can click on this button, and as we can see on the left, under Active Camera Parameters, new parameters will become the default values. This is especially useful when we have multiple cameras. We can cycle through them, and set the default position for each of them in a matter of seconds. In the top right corner of this window, we can switch between our active camera and perspective camera. Perspective camera does not have any additional controls, nor does it appear in the cameras list. This is our default editor camera in which you can navigate the viewport without the fear of disrupting settings of the real cameras. If we hold the right click, we can pan the camera view. For the regular cameras, you need to increase the value for the panning parameter in order to pan the solution. This parameter can be found under the camera control panel. Left side of the screen is reserved for additional information for the tabs in the top part of the screen. On the right side of the screen we have our objects list, and a list of our lights, cameras, annotations, and other objects in the scene. Here we can hide or show each one of these objects. Be wary that hiding a part here doesn't mean that it won't be shown in published solution. This is only for working purposes. To access list of items for published version of solution, we can navigate to the Scene tab, and we can now show or hide different items in published scene. Last, we are going to go through uploading additional meshes and updating the model that is already in the scene. Let's upload a simple grass plane for our Viking to stand on. Simply drag and drop the model in the scene. We can also use this button in the library section and browse for our mesh. In this case we already have an applied material to the mesh. Let's quickly jump in Blender and modify our mesh. Now that we have exported our updated mesh, we can simply click on the Update button, next to our plane in the Objects list. We have now updated our mesh, and we can repeat this process indefinitely. You can always build on and update your solution without the need to start over the process. This will conclude our introduction tutorial. Stay tuned for the next one. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.